Life, probably not his real name, says, historically, female-dominated professions like education seem to more readily embrace the postmodern theories, CRT, gender sexuality. Nursing and healthcare at large resisted this trend for a while, but our profession has seen the pendulum swing significantly towards the postmodern in the last few years. We criticize these philosophies, but what are we doing? What can we do to change this tide and prepare unradicalized nurses, teachers, etc.? How can we prepare women, and men for that matter, to resist radical ideologies that are present in our higher education environments?
It's a real problem. You know what? Before I had kids, and even early on having kids, I thought, I'm going to send my kids to public school. I went to public school. It's fine. I don't want them to be in these sort of bubbles. But I have to say, you could not pay me now to send my kids to public school. And that's because these ideologies are so prominent, and they're being targeted at younger and younger kids. And so I think making a very intentional choice about how you educate your kids, and not to put them in some kind of weird bunker or something, where you're like, oh, we shouldn't engage with the world. But I think choose your schools wisely. And I don't know why I was like staring at the camera almost the whole time I didn't even realize it, but I'm like, choose. Okay. And same with college, don't try to find a college where your kids at least have the option, that at least it's on offer, I think those kinds of decisions are incredibly important, because it's true. I mean, that's how these ideas, I think, enter the broader culture. I mean, there's also just social media in general, but I think when people are trained professionally, then that shapes the professions in a certain way. So it's tough.
I know I talk about Steubenville quite a bit on this show, and I'm just really not trying to get people to move here. But there are lots of really great Catholic communities across this country, or whatever country you live in. I'm sure there's some. So finding a place like that and embedding your little family is a really beautiful thing, because what I find is, like, my children, we've got like 5 houses on the same street of really great families, and none of them are that bunker mentality that you talk about.
Right.
But they are good, solid families who pray with their children. And what I find is that my kids are being evangelized by other kids on the streets in ways that I keep discovering,
Wow.
Here's an example. We're at this little fundraiser for a particular Montessori school, and my son's friend was confronted with this young girl who was into Wicca, and he started arguing with her, and then my son came up to me and told me how great it was and how Chris smashed her, like, in this debate,
Smash her.
Or destroyed her, right? Yeah, rhetorically, in this, yes, of course, in this debate. So the point is, it's still in a way appealing to his pride and ego, but like kids, like teenagers, are infallible anyway. So, but to have him, well, they think they are. So to have him on the side of, like, he had the better arguments, like that's just. Another example, my son went and played D&D because he's cool the other day, and I walked over there, and Deacon Mike Welker, who also teaches economics at the school, Dr. Deacon Mike Welker, said, all right, boys, why don't we pray a Divine Mercy Chaplet before we begin? And I saw them. With my own eyes, I went, yep, and they all just jumped up, and we all prayed the Divine Mercy Chaplet.
Right.
So there are places that you can go, because it seems to me that, like, a family in secular society is like finding a child lost in the woods. It won't last long unless it finds help. And I think post-COVID world, finding it's maybe easier for a lot of people to work remotely. Finding a good community is not a bad idea.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And again, not in a way that, where you sequester yourself from the world, but in a way that you create a vibrant community so that you can actually meaningfully engage with the world and not just simply, get lost.
Honestly, that's what I love about Steubenville. Yeah. It's not like we bought a ton of land and then just started buying houses, and maybe that's okay to do that. I'm not criticizing that. But like, it's just like this Catholic community that's emerged from this rundown town where you encounter homelessness. Like you can encounter prostitutes. You do hear about meth busts that took place on streets, maybe next to mine. You know, and you're creating Catholic community here. Like over the summer, there's going to be about 5 Shakespeares in the park, you know, and all sorts of people show up and bring beer, and it's like we're trying to, yeah, all right. It's beautiful. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment below letting us know what you thought about the video.